Morgan. How are you doing? It's Christmas, and I'm sure you're having a lovely Christmas with all your brothers and sisters and mom and dad as a Christmas present for you. And the first question is,
Merry Christmas, Morgan. Hopefully you're having a great day today. So I want to tell you some of my favorite memories about you. One of them was, and it kind of was a little bit, I don't know. Anyways, we used to run away from you and you would throw dirt clumps at us. And it was kind of like a little fun game that we would play because you would be trying to hit us and we'd be ducking and trying not to get caught. Anyway, get hit with a dirt clump.
One of my favorite memories of Morgan, one time Morgan and I went to Walmart together and we decided to we took one of the little driver carts and Morgan became like a crash derby driver through Walmart. He was driving that thing at full speed, and there was one point where I think we were going to try to back up in an aisle, but accidentally went forward and almost took out a whole like display case of box of like mac and cheese or something. Can't remember. Anyway, it was pretty eventful. It was fun.
One of my favorite memories with Morgan was one time I was at home in Utah, and Morgan and Grandma were in town, and I got a call on the home phone from some random lady in a neighborhood just down the street that we didn't know, and she said she had a Morgan Smith there at her house and needed a ride back home. And so I went over to this random person's house, and I guess Morgan had wandered off and just gone for a walk and got lost. And so this lady helped him out. And I think it's really cool that people are so willing to help Morgan out when he's in need of different things. I think he's got that personality that people are willing and ready to help him out, and I thought that was a really cool experience with him.
So my favorite memory of Morgan was shortly after Killian and I first got married, and I was helping to teach Morgan how to drive. And so we got to spend several hours together driving around Lethbridge in a car. And that was an interesting experience, but what makes it most memorable for me was Morgan's determination to learn how to drive, and his endless energy to make that happen, and his determination to learn how to drive so he could get a driver's license. And so that was one of the most memorable experiences that I had with him, and one of those things that helped me realize what a determined person he was.
Morgan, I love how excited you get about Halloween and dressing up for Halloween. I remember when I lived in Lethbridge and I was working at CFCN, and it was Halloween, and I guess maybe I helped you get ready, or I did your makeup for a vampire, and you were so excited. I remember the vampire, and I remember a cowboy. And I know you've dressed up many times since then, but when I was living in Lethbridge, those are kind of fun memories for me because I was right there with you on Halloween. So,
my favorite memory of Morgan is Christmas morning. He always was quite excited about Christmas, and he'd wake up at 3 o'clock and ask me what time it is, and he was always wondering when it was time to get up to open presents, and he was always, every hour he would wake up and be wondering what time it was, and you didn't get much sleep with Morgan.
when you want something, you don't just want it a little bit, you want it all the way. And I remember when I was a little girl, you liked to play baseball. And even though you had a prosthetic foot, you would bat the ball. And I remember as a little girl, when you were able to run a little, you would still run the bases. I distinctly remember you running as hard as you could to first base. And that, to me, is something I'll never forget, because even though we have challenges, you stick to something until you can succeed.
Another memory I have with Morgan, not necessarily about Morgan, but one time we were both out in Lethbridge. I had driven him out there while I was working out here on the farm over the summer, and I went out and did my thing and then picked him up, and we were driving home and it was dark, and then a deer ran in front of us, and we hit a deer in my little Honda and broke off the side of my window or my mirror, and that was a fun, exciting memory with Morgan.
Another memory I have is just this flashy jacket that Morgan got, and he was so excited. The green and yellow one is the one that sticks in my mind. He was just excited about this flashy jacket that he got, and I kind of love flashy things too, so that's a fun memory for me. I love that he likes the same things as me.
Morgan is really good at detail. Whenever he paints anything, whenever he fixes anything, he always goes for detail to make sure that little thing is right.
One of the things that Morgan's really good at, Morgan's good at fixing small things, like his glasses, or whatever little doodads and hooky bobs he's throwing on his belt. He's good at putting those things together, and he's always kind of fixing up those little things. Like if there's a little thing he wants to tweak with his with whatever he has, he comes up with a way to make it work.
Merry Christmas, Morgan, and all the Smiths up there. Morgan, it's a lot of fun when we all get together. I've always appreciated the brotherhood that we have with all the men that are associated with the Smith clan, whether their last name is Smith or we've been adopted into the family. I've loved the sense of family too that comes with the Smiths.
Morgan's really good at a lot of things. One thing that I think that Morgan is excellent at, and I have learned a lot from Morgan in this, is he is really good at focusing. When he has something on his mind, he focuses on that until he gets it, and until he accomplishes that thing. And I really appreciate that about Morgan, because he just keeps that focus on whatever he wants at the time, and stays focused on that. Morgan's also really good at loving other people and making you feel better, because he has this infectious smile and this happy laugh. When he wants to make you feel better, he has the ability to do that because he has this bright spirit about him. So I really appreciate that about Morgan.
And I think I go back to what I was saying earlier, is that when you are determined, you accomplish something. And that is something we can all learn from. You don't stop until you've accomplished what your goal is.
So one of the things that Morgan has always been good at is figuring out electronic devices. He's had different stereo systems and cameras and electronic devices, and he's always been able to figure out how to make them work and how to get them set up. Most recently he bought a new speaker system, and he was able to get that set up, and he's a pretty smart guy that way.
It's his determination, and when he's determined to do something, he usually gets it done. But his determination is always there when he's trying to accomplish something. He never gives up.
Now, Morgan, you have a lot of things that make you special. But what I like about you, when you have your sweetheart on, you can be very thoughtful and very kind and very gracious to other people. and that is something I really appreciate.
Morgan's really good at getting up in the morning and starting each day as a fresh day, and he's always usually cheery in the morning.
Makes a statement wherever he goes. Everybody knows Morgan. And it's always a good memory.
Morgan, you're pretty special to all of us. And even to my girls, you mean the world to them. And you just have had this special person. You've just been this in my life that has taught me more than you will ever know. All the lessons that you've taught me in life, I used them while I was teaching school. I used things that I learned from being your sister all throughout my life, and I appreciate that. And you probably don't know. And I just think of you in the next life, and you're just gonna have your feet, and everything's just gonna be working good, and you won't fall, and we'll just be happy, and I can't wait to see you then.
Makes Morgan so special is that in spite of the physical trials that he has and the difficulties that he has this great infectious spirit about him, this happy, joyful spirit about him that is it's you can't put a cloud over it. When he's happy, everyone is happy around him, and that's really something that makes him special, and the positivity that he has in spite of the difficulties that he has. He's an inspiration to all of us because you see how, the difficulties that he has, but he has this radiant spirit about him that that outshines the difficulties that he has, and it's a great example to me.
I guess what I think makes Morgan special, we watch Morgan go through a lot of these physical challenges that he has to deal with in this life, and a lot of things that I can't even when I try to be sympathetic. I've had minor physical issues, but nothing that I could even compare to what the challenges that Morgan faces. But even in spite of that, Morgan can get a little bit grumpy once in a while, but not a big deal. Generally he's cheerful, he's very pleasant temperament, but with all the issues that and challenges that he faces, he really has a positive attitude, and whenever I see Morgan, I think about that, like how, what a genuinely optimistic person he is when you consider all of the stuff that he has to deal with.
There's a number of things that make Morgan quite a special guy, but one of the most special things about Morgan is his giant smile. He has a smile and a grin that practically goes ear to ear, and when he's happy, you know it. Not only do you get a smile, but you get a big gregarious laugh as well, and that's one of the things that makes Morgan really special, is his smile and his loud and infectious laugh.
You probably give me more words of advice than, and I probably need more words of advice than you do, but if I had to give you any words of advice, it's just always know that you are loved by a lot of people. We love you so much, no matter what. We love you unconditionally. That's just how you are, you have the spirit about you that we love, and we want you to be happy. And so keep that radiant spirit about you, and keep positive and stay happy, because not only does it make you happy when you're happy, but it makes everyone else around you happy. And that's one of the things I appreciate about you the most, is the joy that you have in your smile and in the spirit that you have. You're just like sunshine.
So Morgan has had to put up with a lot of various health issues throughout his life, and most recently he's had lots of serious health issues. And if there were anything that I could encourage Morgan with, it would be to continue to have a good and happy attitude, and in those moments when you feel worst or feel most down or most frustrated, to not give in to those feelings, to realize and understand that, you know, discouragement is a tool of the adversary, and that having a good attitude and a happy spirit are your two most powerful tools to continue to do well in life. And so I would suggest that.
You have very, very strong faith. You are very faithful and have always been very, very strong in the church. And so my words of just the other day I was reading something, and it's a proverb that says, "Trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not unto your own understanding." I wrote it down. And then it said, "And you shall be directed in your paths." Something to that effect. Anyway, so just always trust in the Lord, and He knows what Morgan is supposed to be doing, and the trials that we go through here in life, we know why. We don't know always why we are experiencing these, but if we trust in the Lord and lean unto Heavenly Father, then we will make it.
If I were to give Morgan some words of encouragement, I would say just keep doing what you're doing, Morgan. You know, keep that positive attitude. You know, you have a lot of challenges that you have to deal with, and keeping that positive attitude is going to help you get through them. There's a movie coming out. It's called The Unbroken, and I read that book. It's about Louis Zamperini. He was an Olympic sprinter. Came from a rough upbringing, but turned his life around, and he embraced running. And then he when he joined the military, in World War II, he was a gunner on a bomber plane, and their plane crashed in the shark-infested waters in the ocean. They survived this crazy ordeal there, and then from there they were captured by the Japanese, and he was in prison camps for a long, long time. Dealt with some incredible hardships, but he always kept a positive attitude, dealing with things that are unimaginable trials, physical trials. And I think, Morgan, you've got some of those trials to deal with, and I think really doing what you're doing, you know, keeping that positive attitude through it all is going to really help you, and you become an inspiration to others.
This is a challenging time for you, and I know that it may seem as though you can't really see the step ahead or where you're going, but I want you to know that Heavenly Father loves you, and He knows exactly where your destination is, and if you have faith in Him, He will help you get to where you need to be. And I know without a doubt that Mom and Dad will help you get there. I have faith in Heavenly Father, and I know that He will help you get to and be blessed with everything that you need.
Remember that you have a Heavenly Father that loves you and knows you. And despite all the difficulties that you go through in this life, you're still remembered as a child of God. Okay, what I love about Morgan is the way he expresses himself. His favorite saying is, "Forget it." That made a statement. All right, That's a favorite.
Uncle Morgan, we love your sense of humor. You're always so funny and laughing your head off all the time, and it makes us so happy and makes us laugh really hard. Sarah Jane?
What I love about Morgan, I love Morgan's laugh. It's quite a jovial laugh. I can't really mimic the laugh, but I can hear it in my head, and it makes me smile.
What I love about Morgan is when we get together as a family and we have some really quality family moments, either at a family reunion or different things like that. Some of the things Morgan says are really genuine and really come from the heart. And when he is really feeling the Spirit, he lets us know, and he teaches us all things that we need to learn in that moment, and he brings us together as a family in many ways.
Morgan, one of the best things about you is your smile. It is absolutely the most grabbing smile that you could. You just make anybody happy that's around you when you just grin from ear to ear and have that great smile and that laugh and giggle. It just makes me just happy. If I think of you and you smile, you just have a beautiful, perfect smile. And I don't think, maybe you don't know this, but you are the most handsome man that I have ever known. Handsome both inside and out. You have the best heart, and you know good. And that's what I really, really, really love about you.
Morgan, you're the toughest guy I know, but yet at the same time you're very spiritual. We're encouraged and inspired by your faith and testimony all the time, and by the love that you have for all of us. We love you too, and we wish you and the rest of the family a very Merry Christmas.
Kate, shine the light on Mommy.
Okay, what I love about Morgan, the first thing that comes to my mind about Morgan is his smile. He's got a bright, radiant smile. And Morgan, when you smile and when you laugh, it's just infectious. Everyone is happy around you, and you have this light that just radiates from you. And so you're helping other people when you smile, and you always make my day whenever you smile and whenever you laugh.
Hey, Morgan.
Love you, Morgan.
Are you Morgan?
Do Spider-Man loves.